Okay, we're going to paint to create our chromatic grays now. And I've chosen the same 3 colors that I used for my color wheel to create those grays. You could choose any primaries that you would like. I like to keep it simple. I've got a darker blue here, and you'll see why in just a little bit. So I'm going to start with having my blue. Oh, complements. Our complements are what help make our gray. So we've got blue and orange. Those are complements. They're across each other on the color wheel. We have yellow and violet. Yellow and violet are across from each other. And we have red and green. So red and green are across. So when we mix those 2 colors together that are opposites, they create a chromatic or a colorful gray. So we're going to practice that. So we've got blue, and I'm going to do a little bit of red and yellow to create our orange. And I've learned from the experience of mixing that this red is pretty dominant just as much as this blue is. This is not a dark blue. So I'm just going to add a little bit to our blue so it doesn't go too red. And it did. Went a little bit orange, didn't it? Still. Now, this could be a very nice brown, and I'm going to show you what I mean. So I mix all of my browns as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of white and place it here, take a little bit of this color out, and add it to white, and there's brown. Okay? So even though we're not making brown right now, you do make the browns from the primaries as well. Okay, and I'm going to add just a little more blue, and this is going to take this to gray. So if you wanted to make a brown, add more of your lighter color. And again, this is a little bit of a darker brown. And a little bit more blue. So it is going to take a little bit more blue, at least with this lighter blue, to get to our gray. So you could start with a little more of that and add just a hair of your complement. I'm just going to push it a little bit further. It's mixed really well. And what I like to do, because I cannot always see well what the color is, I'm going to add it to white. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit here and take some of my white. Okay, and that's a beautiful gray right there. And even right here, it's more blue. I'm going to put this here, and here is the darker version of it, made from blue plus orange. Now, you could play here a little bit and add a little bit more of this orange to it, just a hair, right? I'm going to swipe some of that off, and take that edge of blue off. Now that we've gotten a gray, you can see that you can have a little bit of a warmer gray. Okay, put a little swatch here that has a little bit of white in it. Okay, so that's how you make gray. And one thing you could do to make this a little darker, actually I'm going to hit it back to my bluer gray. So you can see this. There we go, there's our gray. I'm going to take a little bit of this phthalo. I'm going to add a little bit more of my orange. And what that phthalo, or it could be a Prussian, will do is it'll make it a darker gray. You can't go but so dark with that cobalt. Your phthalo or a Prussian will make a nice, I mean, almost black. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I'm going to hit a little bit more of these in there as well, just a little bit at a time. A little bit more of that red. I'm adding red because that looks a little green. And so if it has a little bit more green in it, well, the opposite of green is red. So, and look at that. Look at how it's almost looking black. And that's by adding a darker blue. It has a little bit of a red hue to it, a violet hue, but look at that. Oh. All right, and then I'm going to take a little bit of my white, just so you can see what it looks like lighter. Okay, and that is a chromatic gray. I mean, you could tint this a little bit with yellow to make it a little warmer, just a little bit at a time. You could add red to it to make it a little on the warmer side with red. You could add a little bit of blue to tint it on the bluer side as well. So I'm just teaching you how to play with making your darks. But again, if you don't have the phthalo, that's fine. Use your Prussian blue. It's got to be a rich dark blue, and you just add a little bit in it. It takes it to that darker level. And you can play with the same with your yellow and your violet, starting with your yellow and your red and your blue, which is so nice. If you've practiced doing your color wheel, you know how to mix those now. And you can do the same with red. So you can take your red as your primary and then mix your blue and your yellow together to get that green, and then make your grays from that. And each one are going to be a little bit different. So that'll be a wonderful thing to play with.